Best practices for aligning your team with OKRs and goal cascading. It's far better to let your teams craft their own goals and tie them to the company's objectives on their own terms. Many organizations beginning on their first OKR implementation want to ensure that each goal is perfectly cascaded throughout the organization. The company's objectives become executive key results, which become the VP's objectives, whose key results become the director's objectives, and so on until everyone is working toward the same goals. And occasionally, it pays off. The organization pushed for a single project and emerged with a sense of unity and strategic alignment. Every quarter after that, the tremendous cascade begins all over again. But for many of these companies, the system starts to break down. Goals aren't met, if they're even set, and instead of organizational alignment, there's a rising discontent with the system. And that's because demanding cascaded goals is a flawed goal-setting method. Repeating this process takes far too long, is unpopular with teams, and is counterproductive to achieving alignment. According to Felipe Castro, cascading goals are a top-down, one-way, irreversible flow, with no feedback cycles that ends crashing on the rocks. Everything an agile, innovative organization does not want to be. When you give your teams the power to set their own goals and connect them to the company's objectives on their terms, you put your organization in a better position. Teams require a strategic North Star to which they may align their objectives and key performance indicators, OKRs. This isn't to say that company-level OKRs should be abandoned. Some of your goals should be cascaded while working on a major Tier 1 project that necessitates the participation of all available resources. The problem emerges when cascading your goals becomes the only way to determine your team's objectives. One of the most significant concerns with the cascade technique is that, for lower-level teams, creating goals might waste a considerable amount of time that could be better spent fulfilling them. Depending on how deep down the team's hierarchy is, they could be waiting weeks or months to learn their goals. Because each team must remain until the team above them has stated their goals, each issue or delay has an outsized ripple impact in a cascading system. Your teams are also pigeonholed into specific objectives, which may or may not correspond to what they have to accomplish during the quarter. When one team's key results become another team's objectives, the second team is forced to confine its thinking and lose autonomy. One of the most adverse consequences of this is the loss of the flexibility that makes OKRs so effective. Employees can establish ambitious, daring goals since they can reassess mid-quarter and revise or eliminate key results or entire objectives. As a result, employees don't have the drive to work harder and go farther when their goals are set. Instead, they concentrate on just meeting the plans that have been developed for them. The book Measure What Matters by John Doerr explains it as follows. When others define our method, we are less likely to be engaged by the aim. If my doctor instructs me to lower my blood pressure by preparing for the San Francisco Marathon, I could reluctantly comply. But if I choose to run the race of my own free choice, I'm much more likely to complete it, especially if I'm running with friends. It's worth revisiting the primary argument for cascading, which is that it produces alignment. It's possible if used sparingly. It's good to lay out clear, direct steps at every level of a project or initiative that needs everyone's help. However, it restricts teams and discourages the cross-functional agility modern businesses require to thrive when used frequently. Companies that are connected are more efficient. Leaders and contributors must join horizontally and tear down barriers to gain a competitive advantage. As Laszlo Bock points out, in Work Rules, a transparent OKR framework encourages this type of loose collaboration. Everyone in the company is aware of what's going on. Suddenly, individuals responsible for designing a handset reach out to another team responsible for software development since they noticed an interesting feature that could be implemented in the user interface. Encourage teams to explore beyond the business-level OKRs to their peer teams' OKRs to stimulate fresh ideas, cooperation, and innovation. Apart from providing additional opportunities for cross-functional collaboration, this fosters alignment through positive social feedback. If everyone else is focused on how they can contribute to a common goal, anyone who doesn't stand out can self-correct. Teams thrive when they are given the freedom to ensure that their job is essential. Moving beyond tightly cascading goals does not imply abandoning alignment. Instead, it means trusting that your teams will use their strengths to further your organization's mission, that the plans they create will propel the firm forward. Let your teams establish their own goals and see how far they can go. To give wings to your team to work towards their goals in a defined OKR environment, feel free to reach our support team at OKRSoftwaretools. Our dedicated team will ensure to deliver the best possible experience in kickstarting your OKR journey.